beautiful beings of light. I hope you all are well. Welcome to this, how do I want to say? It's going to be a little bit different. So welcome to this collective astrology / tethering channeled energy report. Welcome to this collective tethering channeled energy report. So much is going on. This is such an important message. I have been really preparing to film this message for about 10 days now, trying to make sense of the channeling. I've got pages and pages of information, and you know, it finally, everything kind of all came together, and I feel like I'm in a space where I can kind of somewhat coherently discuss it. But first of all, I wanted to say welcome to all of our new subscribers. I'm very excited to have you here with me on Love Manifest. For those of you that aren't familiar kind of with my backstory, Love Manifest is my pen name. It's the it started off actually as more of a mission or a mission statement to manifest love in every facet of my life, and it just has grown from there into mission and purpose, and it kind of encompasses everything that I do on this human journey. So many of you guys, know me as Love. My given name is Robin, but most people that know me well call me Bo. So, if you want to call me Bo, you can call me Bo. But most of you call me Love, which I think is really cool. But yeah, so I channel. I'm an integrated channel and an energy intuitive, and I'm also an empath and a highly sensitive person. So all of that together makes me extremely sensitive to collective energies, energy fields, globally, galactically, even, person to person. But it's really lended itself to the mission work that I'm doing now, which is as an integrated channel. So I channel a group of fifth dimensional humans. So they would be what is, what we all talk about as on the new earth. They're a social memory complex of humans in fifth dimensional capacity, and they are, kind of holding the grid for Gaia, the planet. And, as an umbrella, it's the Terra group as the fifth dimensional consciousness. And now we've just stepped into the fourth dimensional consciousness, moving out of a third dimensional consciousness. So I channel the Terra group. I also channel the angelic realm. And usually that comes in the form of poetry. So you can find poetry on my channel as well, and that contains light codes and emotion invocation. And then I channel Rhea, my higher self, and Samuel, who is my guardian angel, as well as other higher dimensional beings, as I'm called to do. And so collectively, I call them my team in spirit, and they help buoy up my vibrational energies in channeling so that I am able to open up my channel and receive from the Terra group. So that's just a little bit of information about me. I'm really happy that this channel is growing and expanding, and that these messages are going to be able to reach more people collectively. And if you hear me discuss tethering, that's the jumping off point for all of the work in which I do. And you can find, I will link the video on tethering, which is a blueprint that the Terra group gave me on how our energetic bodies, astrology, planetary bodies, our reality creation from the perspective of energy, and everything's kind of all thrown in there. But that is the jumping off point from everything in which I work with regarding these channeled messages and energy reports. So if you haven't checked out that video, I would highly recommend that you do that. And I am working on another video that should be out soon, discussing what some of you might know as the harvest or the new earth, and how does that all work? Is there going to be another planet? Is there going to be this big rapturous event? You know, what's going to happen with that? So it's taking me a little while to edit that, but it will be out soon. So this video, right? The last time that I did this, this big moon energy was around this Scorpio full moon at the end of April. And like I said in my past video, it was like everything was stirred up with a big stick. Everything got brought up to the surface. And when we hit the new moon in Taurus, we were really in what I called a metamorphasis soup. And this is where we are right now. And I know you guys have been feeling the energies. I've seen a lot of posting about people, you know, struggling energetically, not understanding why things are happening the way they're happening, feeling like they're taking a step back. Some people are having headaches, feeling exhausted. There is a lot going on in the galactic energies right now. And hopefully I'm going to break that all down for you in a somewhat cohesive way, because it's finally all come together for me. But the reason all of this, you know, in Scorpio was drug up, okay, is that the crux of what we're dealing with now is going to be this full moon, super moon, lunar eclipse, full lunar eclipse that's happening on the 26th of May. Okay. And as you guys know, the new moon, we began building a frequency. We were moving into, well, let me back up a little bit here, and I'll use my little infinity symbol here again. So when the 1221 gateway opened, our new energetic frequency of the fourth dimension, our new broadband, okay, our tethers expanded and came online. Now, just because they came online didn't mean that we were fully tapped into them, and we weren't, right? But when we hit the equinox, we hit the 0 point right here of the fourth dimension. All right. Now, we are in the infancy of the fourth dimension. So, you know, expansion, evolution, moving up the vibrational scale, that all takes, you know, I don't want to say time, but it does. It takes, it's an unfolding, if you will. Okay. It takes cycles in order to do that. And we just began this new ring. Okay. And if you remember all the way back to Lord Narasimha's message, we were kind of straddling two worlds in this egg of life. Well, when we hit the equinox, we began moving into this fourth dimensional energy. Okay. And that was when we hit the 0 point. And from there, okay, we had everything that was left from here drug up to the surface. Any remnants, any fractal aspects of ourself, anything that we still were energetically corded to in some way has been drug up to the surface in order for us to fully move now into this new fourth dimensional energy template, into these new fourth dimensional frequencies on our cords and tethers. Hold on, and I'll get my little toroidal field. Okay, so this is you. You are this toroidal field here. This is you, and this, you are in the center of it. Okay, if this is you as a human being, and you are corded and tethered into all of the planetary bodies, and that all runs on a spectrum. And right through here, up here is your pillar of light. You're corded into the higher dimensions, moving upwards, and below you're corded to the earth. Okay, so these new bandwidths, these new frequencies, they came online on 1221. We got shoved through the 0 point at the equinox. Then everything that was, still being released has been coming up through these astrological movements of the moon and the sun. And we got to a point with this new moon in Taurus where we began building a frequency. And now we've moved to this point on the 26th where we are fully, all right, going to be letting go. And that's what these last few weeks have been about. You know, there may have been a lot of past things coming up. You may, have been kind of challenged to look at things differently. We've been being flooded with so much upgrades, downloads, a weaving of energy, right? And with a lunar eclipse, on top of a full moon, on top of a super moon, which means that it's very close to the earth, these are powerful energies. And this isn't going to just be, our typical release, our climax that we have with a full moon or even with a lunar eclipse. No, this is a whole new book. It's not just a new chapter. It's a whole new book for a whole new dimension. We are beginning this ring, this brand new ring of the fourth dimension. So it's really exciting. Now, on top of that, Mercury is going retrograde. We entered the shadow period on the 14th, and it goes fully into the heart of its retrograde on the 29th. And that runs all the way through June 22nd. Now, Mercury retrograde goes retrograde 3 times in a year. This is the second time in this year that we've experienced a Mercury retrograde. The first time was in January through February. And this will be only the second Mercury retrograde that we've had with this new fourth dimensional energy. But really, this is kind of the first true Mercury retrograde that we're having in this new age of Aquarius with a full fourth dimensional template. So this is huge, and that's exciting. If that wasn't enough, I am filming this on May 23rd, which is the beginning of a Saturn retrograde. Okay, Saturn, the taskmaster. This is going to be causing a blending of energies, and I'm going to elaborate on all of this. And we also have Venus and Pluto already retrograding. And the kicker of all of this is that there were 3 555 gateways that this today being the last one that we have had in the month of May. And the triple fives indicating the ending of one cycle and the beginning of another. So this is major, you guys. It's like I said in my last, message, that I didn't want to be too hyperbolic about the whole thing, but there is going to be so much happening from the 26th and moving forward. And you're already feeling it. You've already been feeling it. But where everything has been, emotionally really kicked up and stirred up, and this, dust, was like, just thrown out in, into your reality. And then it started settling back down a little bit so you could start building. Now is the time when we hit this lunar eclipse where we are completely shifting the script. So the way that they've explained it to me and the title that they've given me for this event is Unwritten. A new book begins with the lunar eclipse, and Mercury retrograde will assist us in writing its script. So much to talk about in all of this, and we're just going to take it one step at a time. I'm so excited to get through all of these different energies because, man, a change is coming. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to discuss, and if I can, I will timestamp all of this if you guys want to go back and look at certain aspects of this. But the first thing I want to discuss is this lunar eclipse happening on the 26th. So this is really going to be creating a brand new hologram, a brand new, not just a new chapter, but a brand new book. We are ushering in our destiny. There's very few times where you can feel that there are, kind of reasons why, you came down here on your human journey, and, where you hit these choice points, and, where things really shift and change. And this is definitely going to be one of those. This is really, as I've as I've been saying. This is really the death of the third and the birth of the fourth. Now, we are also going to have a solar eclipse on June 10th. And that's where the new beginning will truly begin. Okay, that's where the new book is, where we're really going to start writing out the script for it. This Scorpio full moon, and then moving into this new moon in Taurus. Okay, it was with purpose. It's kicked everything up. It's shifted. It's around. They kept showing me, if this is our reality, that everything's changing and, rearranging. And the song that they kept giving me was, the lyrics in it are Reflections of My Life by Marmalade, I think. But in there it says, I'm changing, rearranging. And this also factors into the Mercury retrograde, where the themes they've given me are reinvention and rearranging. And that's what we're doing right now. It's like reality itself and our belief systems and everything else. It's shifting and changing. And they showed me an image very similar to this in my channeling session. And it's really ushering in this brand new destiny, this brand new dimension. And with that, death and the rebirth in this metamorphosis soup that we've been in, we're going to have to be willing to let go of the old script. And you may have felt with this changing and this rearranging that's been happening, okay, that you can feel the old scripts that have been vying for their survival. Okay, it's like these old scripts are coming up, and we are deciding right now, okay, what part of the story am I going to take with me after this event, and what part of the story am I going to let go of? What part of the story is no longer serving me? What part of the story is going to make it into this brand new dimension? And is it aligned with my belief systems? What belief systems can I let go of? What can I let go of? Because a full moon and certainly an eclipse is all about letting go. Okay, it's all about letting go. So you probably have been able to feel scripts kind of fighting for prevalence over the last few weeks. Again, what are you going to carry with you? You have free will. So what part of the scripts do you want to carry with you? And if not, then, what can you forgive at this point? I've been doing a lot of work, especially the last few days, on forgiveness. These, on the higher end of the spectrum, so knowing that a full moon and the tethers of the moon are always about the past. They're always about whatever's on the lowest end, okay, the bottom of the frequency. Let me find my little ball here. So if this is us, okay, and you can superimpose this toroidal field right here in the middle, okay, and these are all our tethers, and we're tethered into all the planetary bodies, and each one of those planetary bodies has their own collective and their own social memory complex and their own grid, okay, and we're tethered into all of that. The moon, what the moon holds is the grid to our past. So on the spectrum of energy, let's just pretend for a minute that this right here is the moon's energy. On this tether, you're going to have the lowest to the highest that's available to you within this grid, which holds our past. So what aspects of the story of our past, and this isn't just the past in this lifetime, this is all of your lifetimes up till now. This is all of the versions of you that, are playing out lives right now in this now moment. We're going to be reaching this point where we are letting go of the stories that no longer serve us. And once we do that, okay, on the higher end of these cords and tethers, we are going to feel things shape shifting. Okay, we're going to begin to have more of these magical experiences. You know, a lot of new perspectives on things. And so although I've really had a challenging last few weeks, it's driven me into myself, and I've had to ground into my own energy and begin building that frequency. And I've noticed that I am really beginning to see things from new perspectives, and you know, looking at more than one piece of the puzzle, because that's the other thing that they've explained to me that's really exciting about this new phase is that we are going to begin that basically we are only conditioned to see one piece of the puzzle at a time. Okay. And that's one of these things that we're going to be letting go of, one of these programs that we're going to be letting go of. We're already working on letting go of our perception of linear time. And I spoke about that in my last channeled message. So if you didn't catch that, I would highly recommend I go into detail about how time works on the fourth dimension. We're already letting go of that. We, you know, after the equinox, you know, I discussed that I had begun seeing like the energy fields of everything around me. And you guys all messaged me and was like, wow, I'm not crazy. I'm seeing that too. And you guys can go out, you can go check out the equinox message that I did for that for more information on these magical experiences that were, you know, now becoming part of our daily reality. It was really cool, actually. I went with my partner on a bike ride the other night, and him and I were sitting there, and I was looking out over the water, and I just saw, you know, like all of these orbs and beings, and I could see the energy of everything. And it was just, there was like thousands of them. And he looked over at me and he's like, do you see that? Like, do I have floaters in my eyes? Like, I'm like, no, finally, you can see what I've been seeing for months. And, you know, you're not crazy. You know, you don't have floaters in your eyes. They don't move around all like this, and they don't come at you and go far away like that. You are finally opening up to that. So, you know, don't be surprised if you begin opening up to seeing more than one piece of the puzzle at a time. Another thing that's been really exciting for me is they've directed me. If you guys follow my Facebook blog and my MeWe blog, you can see those photos. But they've been directing me to what they call go through the looking glass, and, you know, through the beyond the veil. And they tell me where to take these photographs out in nature. And when I put them through like a mirror imaging editing process, all of a sudden you can see elemental beings, higher dimensional beings, extra dimensional beings. And it's just like, wow, I was only ever looking at my photography, even at the lens of reality, through one little filter. And when we open ourselves up to more than that, we begin to see how magical our reality truly is. So that's some of the one, you know, like one of the more exciting things, you know, because with a lunar eclipse and even with a full moon energy, sometimes it's, you know, it can feel, I don't want to say scary, but, you know, change is, you know, unsettling for all of us. And this is a big moment, but there's going to be so many rewards that come from, you know, all of this letting go. You know, it's that vacuum effect as well. You know, some of us are going to be purging things in our physical reality and feel this need to be, you know, getting rid of objects or creating space. And the Saturn retrograde that's beginning today, that is going to bring a lot of attention to our home. And, you know, we're going to be really creating space to be able to see things from so many more perspectives. So that's an exciting aspect of this as well. Let me see here. I've got so many notes on all of this. You have to bear with me. Oh, the other thing, you know, is I talked about that we would experience this kind of release of pressure. And I have really felt that shift here, on and off for the last couple weeks. Like I can feel the new book, you know, wanting to root in and take hold. And then at other times I can feel like the old script kind of, you know, wanting to take center stage. And the reason they've explained that is they're saying when these things are coming up for you, okay, to really just sit in that energy. Frederick Dodson has some really good exercises on his YouTube channel, about just sitting in the energy and imagining the ocean and feeling it, and allowing the water to just take it until it's resolved, because we can't suppress this or, distort ourselves from it or fractal off from it. Like, this has to be a whole being that's moving into this. So, what they're saying is, like, when these things are coming up for you, to really forgive yourself and others, but mostly yourself, that we are, that we are really the hardest on ourselves, that we will, accept so much from other people, but when it comes to our own standards, that, we really need to begin to be more accepting of our story up until now, and forgive ourselves for anything we perceive or judge as shortcomings or mistakes, or blunders of some kind. That's going to be really key in releasing that, because the other thing they've explained to me is that once we've moved to that point, we're really going to begin to release our inhibitions. These masks are coming off, okay? And we're really stepping into our authenticity. So one of the other things that we're letting go of are these masks and, these inhibitions and these things that we've kind of kept hidden for fear of judgment. And we're going to feel that we can fully step into our authenticity and all of our weird and wonderfulness. And we're not going to feel the need to hide that anymore. So that's another exciting aspect of this lunar eclipse that's happening on the 26th. Yeah, I think that's, and they told me too, like that quote, the truth will set you free. It's stepping into our truth. It's stepping into our authenticity. It's stepping into the fullness of who we are and letting the baggage of the story and the script up until now, letting that go. And, that could take on many different themes in your reality, but to consciously work on this, that it's important that it's your free will, that you're consciously choosing it, and, to do whatever kind of ritual or ceremony that resonates with you during this energy. Like, really sit and meditate, write it out, script it out. I have begun, I've recently been going through, again, Frederick Dodson's Parallel Universes of Self, which has a lot of the same concepts in it as reality transurfing. One of the things I've done is really write out a script and, of what I'm stepping into, what I feel is authentically the person that I am and that I'm stepping into and that I'm becoming. And to really, take the time to map that out. What story are you going to tell moving forward? You may find that some of your belief systems are shattered. This might feel very intense. If you are caught off guard by this, if this isn't something you've been actively working on, which if you're exchanging energy with me, here, I can't imagine that would be the case, but it might be. But you may have loved ones, family members, where things are really going to get shaken up. And, I don't talk a lot about globally. I did mention in one of the last, that Scorpio full moon, that there could be some extreme weather events, and there was. And that, we could see a lot shifting. But expect, some crazy cakes stuff to be going down. And I think it has been popping up over the last few weeks. I'm not big into the collective narrative. I just need to feel it. And I know that things are definitely shifting with that. And there's a lot that's being brought to light. And so I would suspect that that's going to continue. And definitely, moving up through this eclipse time. But yeah, the other thing they've said is this, from this moment forward, we can really begin creating from our higher state of being, from our higher self perspective, from that magical personality perspective. So I'm just like over the moon about it. You know, it really does feel exciting. So that is the first little piece of the puzzle. So that's what we're moving into. That's what we're being propelled. Okay, this our destiny. You know, we're being propelled into this fourth dimensional template. But what are the retrogrades for? How is this all working together? And the way that they've explained this to me is that these retrograde energies are really about revising, reinventing, rearranging the script, okay? And that is what's going to allow us to do that. You know, everything moves in this grand symphony and it all works together given our energetic blueprint. And it's all happening for a reason, which is why I say, you know, some people are very dismissive of astrology. And, you know, not that you have to be obsessive about it, but to understand or even just feel intuitively what these, you know, planetary bodies are doing is going to help you navigate the blueprint that is influencing, you know, your energetic body and your reality creation. So right now, like I said, there are several planets that are retrograding. So the first one, and the one that we're probably going to be feeling the most poignantly, is the Mercury retrograde, okay? So all retrograde energy is essentially this illusion that the orbit of the planet is moving backwards. It's just an illusion, just like linear time is an illusion. It's not actually moving backwards, but that's how we perceive it and that's how we feel it. It's really a time of reevaluation, revising. This particular Mercury retrograde is going to be about rearranging and reinventing, okay? And with Mercury, if you guys remember the very first Mercury retrograde we had in this new fourth dimensional template, I did a video on. I was able to tap into the grid of Mercury and begin to, you know, kind of fine tune some of the higher big picture information I was given with tethering. And I channeled in the social memory complex of Mercury, who are a seventh dimensional angelic race. And in Greek mythology, Mercury was really known as the, you know, winged messenger of the gods. And so this really made sense to me that, you know, they are there to aid and assist us in number one, our communications. And remember I said with this lunar eclipse, we're now going to begin creating from our higher self and in communication in general. So Mercury retrograde classically is known for a time where, you know, the past comes back, you know, where you might have past, you know, lovers come back into your life, or, you know, there's breakdown in electronics and communications. And really, okay, that was the third dimensional way of looking at it. Now we're looking at it from this new fourth dimensional perspective. We've never seen Mercury retrogrades before in the fourth dimension. So it's, you know, anyone that's predicting what that's going to be about, you know, from the past, again, they're going to need to let go of that, because this is now a whole new book. This is a new type of retrograde energy. So when we're looking at a retrograding planet, it is the past, and it's a chance to revise, alchemize, transmute the energy from the past that's corded into that particular planet. Now remember, every planetary body highlights a certain aspect of the human journey. And with Mercury, it's all about communication. And they've explained to me, and if you were to look this up, you'll get many different belief systems, but from what they've explained to me, and if this resonates, it does, and if it doesn't, then leave it behind, but that it does correlate with the throat chakra and with our autonomic nervous systems and balancing the both hemispheres of the brain, okay? And that they've been working on this with us. since the first, Mercury retrograde. We've been doing all this work around shedding the automaton within, detaching from these programs of the automaton mind and getting to a space of original thought. Remember, I told you I had this, channeling session, and at the end of it, they were saying there really was no more original thought left, but don't worry, we're going to get there. Well, this is where we're beginning to get there. Okay. We are revising, we're rearranging, shape shifting, reevaluating, reinventing our script for this whole new book. And Mercury retrograde is going to aid and assist us in doing that. So, with the same theme that's being, sparked off with this lunar eclipse, okay? What they've explained to me with the retrograde, okay? So just so you know, the shadow period began on May 14th. It goes fully into retrograde on the 29th, and it's going to last until the 22nd. And then it's shadow period, so it's slowing down, and then we're in the heart of it. And then when they talk about the shadow period, it's when you're coming out of that energy. So we've been easing into it since the 14th. We're going to be in the fullness of it, or in the heart of it, from the 29th through June 22nd. And then we're coming out of that all the way up until July 5th. So we really do have a really big chunk of time where we can begin revising these scripts, reinventing ourselves. And what they've explained to me for this theme, okay, that they're really, these angelic beings are really going to be working in concert with. Remember, I also did a channeling from a benevolent race of mantid beings, and they've explained to me that we've been going through a weaving, okay, a frequency weaving, and that there are animals on the planet, insects on the planet, that are aiding and assisting all the time in weaving these frequencies. So this has been ongoing for months now, okay, to get us to the space in which we're at today. And the themes that we're really going to be working on, and I'm sure you have felt this over the last few weeks already, which is this story of collective lack, okay, the lack matrix, and, self-worth. And the big theme that they've told me is going to be with this retrograde energy is that you are not a problem that needs to be solved. So that goes back to what I was just saying with this lunar eclipse energy. It's forgiving yourself, forgiving your story up until now, letting these masks come off, step into loving yourself, truly being in love with who you are, and understanding that you are not a problem that needs to be solved. There is this self-worth, this enoughness, and a doubt program. Doubt. And that's something I was feeling really intensely after this, full moon energy, this whole, and it's interesting because I've been doing this now for a while. I can kind of feel when it's like, is this even my energy? Is this collective energy? And I have to kind of like tease it out. But it was this whole, I did have these few days where I just felt this, like, it's like coming up, this purging of these, ideas of like, is this really even worth it? Does it even matter? Does what I do make a difference? This whole idea of doubt, until I was able to shake myself out of it. Like, what? What are you talking about? Of course it matters. Of course it's valid. Of course. But it really came in, very strongly for me, this idea of, doubt. And I don't want to get too much into the persuasion of percussion, which is what the Terra group calls service. If you follow like the raw materials, what they call service to self. Okay. But to let, if we're going to be real about it for a moment, like, these are thought wars, these are thought wars that are ongoing, especially with higher dimensional beings in human form, with light workers, way showers, grid keepers, okay? And the way the control is, and you guys understand this, is introduced is through fear and anger and lower vibrational emotions. And one of those, and it's very subtle, okay? And they need your free will in order to have the buy-in, in order to, gain that energetic stronghold. And one of the programs that's very prevalent in the lack matrix is doubt and issues around self-worth, okay? And that's been used, they're saying to me, strategically for many, 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 many years. They're showing me right now, like, even the templates around women and the definition of beauty and aging, and templates around higher education and income. Really third dimensional templates they're showing me. But these are very subtle programs that keep us corded into the lack matrix, when now we're cording into this abundance matrix. So that's one of the main themes that's coming up. And this tendency to go into our head and label and analyze. And when we do that, we re-identify with the program. We go back into the automaton. Because remember, the automaton is always based in the past. It's always based in the past. And it's that part of our dominant resonant frequency that we're carrying through with us from day to day that makes us believe in the illusion of consecutive time. Okay? So when we try to get up into our head with it, okay, and this is where the retrograde comes in, this balancing of the autonomic nervous system. We then are recording in to the energy when we, get this analysis, paralysis by analysis, they're saying, So it's really important that we sit in the heart and that we stay in the heart with it. And we just acknowledge the feeling, acknowledge the program, but sit with it. And again, until we can allow it to pass. And also they're saying, like, we don't need to give it a meaning. We don't need to go up into the head and then give it a meaning. And in doing that, we then just reroute or cord back into the energy. So that's something that's really important to keep in mind. If you are feeling like this, like I said, you can work on that exercise where you just sit with it until you can allow it to, move through you, and, just observe it. The other thing that they gave me as, something to work on in revising these scripts and writing something new is to redirect our energy to areas where you feel empowered and where you can organize, free up, unburden. That in doing that, you're really reducing the importance of it. You're not getting up into the head with it, and you're not they're saying like reinfecting yourself, when really you're just like cording back into these lower vibrational frequencies. And we're going to have this swath of time in which we can practice this and do this. And then the other thing that they said, was really going to be important during this time is to, get playful and nurture through nature. And if, you're feeling that way, step outside, take a walk, take a bike ride, just watch the birds or the squirrels for a little bit. Just, find a way to really tap into nature and, get back into the playfulness of that cord and tether. It's always there waiting for you. And that will kind of decrease the prevalence of these feelings. And they're really coming on strong. They really are. The other thing is that they said is, again, to get primal in your heart, not in your head. So the whole idea of the automaton within is that there are these survival programs and mechanisms that were necessary to survive when we were sourcing fresh water, when we were being chased by bears, but that we've surpassed that now. And that it's good to get primal, but not to get primal in the head and reattach to that, but get primal in the heart. How can you get primal in your energy, in the heart? What sounds fun? What sounds adventurous? What, how can you make normal, everyday things anomalous or adventurous? Even if it's just running to the grocery store, what can you do to really get into that playful energy, that primal energy of your heart? Okay, what music can you listen to? Like, I love listening to drumming, and even ecstatic dance is a great way to get primal in your heart. Yeah, I really think that's all I'm going to say about the Mercury retrograde, because as you can see, everything is all working together in order for us to begin writing out this new script. And everything is slowing down, like slow-mo. We've got all these planets going retrograde, and giving us this illusion that it's slowing down and even moving backwards, so that we have the opportunity to do that. So the other thing I wanted to touch upon is that we have Venus and Pluto that are also retrograde right now. And then Saturn is also going retrograde as of today. So I may do some follow-ups because we do have, I believe, Jupiter going retrograde into June. But right now, today as I'm filming this, it probably, won't be out until tomorrow. On the 24th or the 25th. But as I'm filming this today is May 23rd. And so we had the last of our 3 gateways, or our portals of energy, these gateways of energy that were really like, they've explained to me they're a convergence of these fractal aspects of ourselves. So all of the lower vibrational aspects of ourselves have been, of our fractal selves, have been being cleaned up as well. And there's been fusions, if you remember from the message I put out last, that we're moving and shifting anywhere between 2 to 3 timelines at a time. So timelines have needed to be like merged, converged, and cleared up. To kind of upgrade all the aspects of our fractal self. And these gateways have been doing that for us. So they have been a 555 in numerology, which always is an ending of a cycle, so that we can begin a new cycle. And it's where we're cleaning up, converging, and frequency merging these scripts that we're letting go of. And with that has begun the Saturn retrograde today as well. So the Saturn retrograde is, classically the grid of Saturn, is known as the disciplinarian, the taskmaster. It's all about authority, institution, and, scheduling, structure. And with this going retrograde as well, this is giving us all these different aspects of our human journey to slow down and rearrange, revise, okay? So with Saturn going retrograde, the way they've explained it to me is, okay, so they're showing me like a painter, and, they're painting this, like a landscape scene. And they may be, making really hard, color demarcations for mountains, and then like a stream and the sky. But that, and that those, the mountain represents our, our work, and the river is, our spiritual life, and all the different aspects of this journey. Okay. And that something needs to blend it all together, right? Something needs to give it structure, but then it also needs to be blended so it's cohesive. And Saturn moving into retrograde is really going to be about structuring all of the aspects of our lives, all the daily responsibilities with the dreams that we're trying to, bring down into the physical realm, to, the duties around the home, like everything. And a lot of it's going to centralize around the home. I think now that things are beginning to open up in some places and they're shutting back down in other places, that there have been a lot of distortions around the home. And as we move into the heart of the Saturn retrograde, it's going to be, it begins in Aquarius, which is a very mental energy, and then it moves into the heart of it during Cancerian energy, which is centering around the home. So a lot of this is going to be around the hub, the home, and it's around structure, alchemizing. Again, how are we writing the script moving forward? Okay. And how can we shape shift, right? Remember, how can we shape shift? How can we rearrange things so that they have order and structure, but that they all are still blended? So every aspect of our life has been getting some attention, because I think there has been this tendency with all the different energies that have been going on, certainly through 2020, to be very myopic in nature. I know that I've been, putting loads of energy towards Love Manifest, and then loads of energy towards homeschooling my son. And now things, need to become more balanced in that. And, I'm trying to get out into nature and, do the walks and, go swimming and, do, aqua therapy and, do painting and renovation on the home and getting rid of things. So it's like, how do you do all of that without becoming overwhelmed, without becoming too invested in linear time, without putting too much pressure on ourselves, without putting on masks and feeling like we need to portray ourselves as something that we're not? I have a messy life and things aren't always easy breezy. And that's not something that I, feel the need to hide, because we all have aspects of our lives that are, messy or chaotic, or, or just, I don't want to say chaotic, but, where we're all trying to figure out, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is how do we bring balance into every aspect of our human journey? And sometimes we achieve that and we're awesome, and sometimes we're not. Well, this Saturn retrograde is going to give us the ability, when we marry it in with the Mercury retrograde and the other retrogrades, and then this lunar eclipse, to kind of bring it all and blend it all together, to alchemize and balance. And again, back when we look at the Mercury again, we're balancing the autonomic nervous system. So this goes in concert with our body. This is all working together in this glorious symphony, which has taken me like almost 2 weeks to understand all the information that they've given to me. But now that it's clicked, I'm like, oh, I get it now. But yeah, it's definitely going to center around, balancing things out again around the home. And, as I said before, some of us might need to organize, rearrange, maybe we need to rearrange. I'm getting like they're showing me like some feng shui, and even things as simple as like cleaning out cupboards or cleaning out like the refrigerator, and like the impact that can have, having the towels all in one, like things that we may overlook that energetically lend itself to having a structured but blended, kind of journey. And that this also, the other thing that they wanted me to, they're reminding me, is that this may also expose. So if you have been, putting an excess of energy into one aspect of your life, this may be exposing where you have shadow contracts with authority figures, job, anything that you perceive as having like a contract or an authority figure with an institution of some kind, that this may be exposing, where you have what I would call like a shadow contract. So that may be coming up for review. So tons of exciting stuff. We are being propelled into our destiny. This is a brand new book, and I can't wait to take this journey with you guys. I just feel so immensely blessed to be sharing these messages with you. And thank you so much for all of your support and for subscribing, and sharing and your beautiful comments and everything. It does mean a lot to me because, I know that I'm here and I'm in the role that I'm in, but I've had, a hard couple last few weeks where I was struggling with some of these old scripts coming up, and like I said, the doubt programs and everything. And it really was all of you just at the right time, sending the right message, or, someone, giving me a comment or, sharing a message, that really helped, kind of pull me out of that. So I really do love you all so very, very much. And I can't wait to see what this new book is going to be, because I'm telling you what, it's going to be fantastic. And there's so many magical things on the horizon, and we're really going to feel it after we get through this lunar eclipse, moving into this solar eclipse. That's our true new beginning. That's going to be in June, in the beginning of June. So love, light, and blessings to all of you. I'm sending you all big, 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 big love. Oh, and I forgot, I will link in the comments. They gave me 2 songs, and the first one was Reflections of My Life, like I said, but the other one was so perfect. I channeled it after I wrote all of this, and the lyrics are amazing. Just bear with me. Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten. And if you go and listen to that, you'll see that it is just so on point for the energy that we're stepping into. So love, light, and blessings to all of you. I'm sending you all big, big, big love. Bye.
Just wanted to say I love ya. Scully loves ya. Bye.